Good morning. I wanted to share with you this morning a sonnet which I had come across from Malcolm Guite, one of my favourites, as you know, if you're part of the congregation, from his book Parable and Paradox. And this sonnet is called World's End. And the text which goes with it is Mark chapter 13, 24 to 29. So I'm going to read the text now and then the sonnet. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. So we begin to contemplate the end with shadowed glimpses of apocalypse. How can we even start to understand the heavens shaken and the vast eclipse of everything that we have ever known, then suddenly revealed the power and glory, once veiled in symbols of the Lamb and throne, the all-revealing climax of our story. About that day, you tell us, no one knows, but we must wake and watch for you. Look up, yet hidden in this warning you disclose a tender yearning, a deep stirring hope, and bid us in the visions that you bring to see the world's end as a sign of spring. As I came across that, it spoke to me because I have been thinking about this moment in time with COVID-19, coronavirus, being part of what our world is all about at the moment, and a sense that it is apocalyptic and world ending. And by that, I don't mean that the world is over and that will be it. But rather that the world as we know it is over. I like this line here, the heavens shaken and the vast eclipse of everything that we have ever known. And in the Christian tradition, there is of course the great doctrine that at the end of time, Christ will return and will gather us up and will recreate our world, and all things will be made right. And that is good, and we need to hang on to that. But there's also a stream which talks about kind of little apocalypses and little resurrections. And I think that's important to hang on to as well, that there are times in history when the world as we know it changes. And that can feel like the rug has been pulled from under our feet. It can feel very fearful and difficult because we don't recognise the framework that we're working in anymore. But that actually, as I was saying the other day when we were talking about and using Barbara Brown Taylor's book, Learning to Walk in the Dark, that in the dark, in the world-ending moments, in the times of apocalypse, that is where we find new life. That is where we find resurrection. As Malcolm says in this poem, yet hidden in this warning you disclose a tender yearning, a deep stirring hope, and bid us in the visions that you bring to see the world's end as a sign of spring. So that's my prayer for us today as we go into this new day, whatever it means for us. Some of you are able to go out for a daily walk. We in this household have been told to stay in for 12 weeks. So we're in the shielding category, and the walks that I take will be out in my garden. But wherever we are and whatever we're doing, there are signs of spring, there are signs of hope. And I pray that we can hold on to those this morning, that we can see where God is in this, even if we don't necessarily have the answers to why this is happening in our world at this time. So my prayers are for us to embrace the little apocalypse and to be able to see resurrection as we walk our path today. I'll see you later.